So when I go to different video game conventions, I love checking out the areas because you never know what you might find when it comes to these video game stores. And that's exactly what happened when I went out to Raleigh, North Carolina. I went to Hidden Block Games, and they sure had some crazy things and stuff that I even picked up. So of course I see this. It says Super Mario 64. This is the Nintendo 64 era camera. And I just love the colors on here just because I grew up with this, and this is just so cool to see. I feel like you really don't see these too often. Sometimes you'll see like sealed ones, but they want like hundreds of dollars. So this will definitely have to come home with me, and I will add it into my Nintendo 64 collection. So this right here definitely caught my attention. Nights into Dreams, a staple of a game that I grew up with the Sega Saturn, and just seeing this Tiger electronic. These are really difficult to find, and to have the original packaging with it, just this like blister pack, it really brings back all of those memories. And since I have a Sega Saturn kiosk, like this is just really cool. This would probably go well just displaying on it. Just very awesome to see. So I absolutely love the Super Nintendo, and I have been going for a full set for quite some time. It gets more and more challenging trying to find some of these titles that you just don't see every day. Well, this one right here, they had this in one of their showcases. This is An American Tail, Fievel Goes West. So I remember this from back in the day. I actually used to have like a little plush animal of this. So this is just crazy cool to see this. Now, is the price tag really worth this game? I'm not entirely sure, because this is one that goes for a little bit more, and I definitely don't see it very often, so it is super uncommon. So, of course, this is released way after the movie, not really too much of a hype around that. They made it for kids, so other than that, I would say that you can actually beat this game pretty quickly if you wanted to. It follows along the movie. The music is fantastic. And pretty much in this game, you have to like find your family, and there is like this whole final boss. But I would absolutely say that maybe it's not quite there for the money or like the price tag, unless you're super nostalgic for this particular game. I know I'm going to enjoy the playthrough, whether it be really quick, whether there not be like too much going on in the game that's like different than your Super Nintendo, average game. But this one is one that I'm so glad to add because I've been searching for it everywhere. Now this one is another one that I have just not been able to find. Usually the label's completely destroyed. This is Hook, and this one's actually not that bad of a Super Nintendo game. So this is pretty much one of those movie license games that was actually on the better side. This one's not that bad. Now it does have a much slower pace than what I would like, but it does follow the original Peter Pan, not really the movie, so it follows that like storyline. Now this is very similar what I've heard to like Sky Blazer, but the level design, I feel like it's pretty diverse. There is much of a variety in this one. I love the exploration in the different levels from what I've played so far, and the music is also great. So I feel like I really did a good job finding a couple games that I want to give a go to, I want to play, I want to just try out and see how these games ultimately are. So I am pretty excited because as we're winding down to like under 140 games left for the Super Nintendo full set collection, it is getting more challenging to find some of these titles. And I'm really hoping to dive in deep at the next video game convention and really focus on the Super Nintendo. So I'm out here with...
My name is Jack.
And you said that you're on Twitch?
Yeah, I'm on Twitch. My Twitch is Candid Coffee.
Okay, definitely check that out. But we were talking about some of the GameCube games in the store. So of course, we had to talk about which one?
Kirby Air Rider.
Yeah.
Truly one of the best games I've ever played in my life, to be so honest with you. Quality piece of art. Should be hung up with the Mona Lisa.
Okay, we'll go that far. But are you excited for like the new one that's supposed to come out?
If I'm being honest, I'm not gonna buy the Switch 2, but I am gonna pirate it.
Okay.
Arg.
We want to talk about that. But if you were to buy it, you
100%.
would buy it.
I'm really thinking about it.
Just
Maybe.
to play it. If
Just to
you
play it. It would just be
bought
for
it,
Kirby
it would
Air
just
Rider.
be okay.
Just for Kirby
All right,
Air
we'll
Rider.
go with that. But the GameCube is awesome. As you guys know, I'm trying to go for the full set at some point, and this was just a great little topic about the GameCube.
One of the best games I've ever played.
Okay, so I actually just spotted this at the bottom of the shelf, and for a brief stint, I was buying tons of these arcade sticks, and I actually have a lot of them for like the PS3 and the Xbox 360 era, but I didn't even know about this Soul Calibur. This is pretty cool, this arcade fight stick, this Soul Edition, and I just love these boxes. Now I do have a couple like limited ones, like for Comic-Con and like Femme Fatale version for other games, but I just love that like window. It's easy to display, and this is definitely a really cool piece here that now that I know about it, I'm gonna have to keep an eye out because I've never seen this one. So this store definitely had a variety as you walked around. I love how they have just a little bit of everything. Now they had tons of Pokemon cards, and they had a ton of video games, figures, and just so many different odds and ends. It was really cool to see how they kind of like put everything together, and I like how a lot of the stuff was like front facing and just displayed so that you could actually see it. And of course, I always love those showcases because you never know what you might find. So anytime that I see these handheld games, whether they're Tiger Electronic or they're just another type, this one's actually really cool. Now I already have some of the Turtles ones, but I can never remember which one I need. So if I need this in the future, then I missed out. But this is really cool. I just love these because back in the day, some of us, we had these instead of the Game Boy. And then eventually over time, you know, I was able to get a Game Boy Color. So it's just really cool seeing some of this stuff, and especially Turtles. I absolutely love that. So I am really glad to add that into the collection. I'll have to add it to my Nintendo 64 collection on this like weird little oddity shelf that I'm growing. So I thought that that was really cool to see as well, just because you just don't see this stuff every single day. And, you know, all of this stuff completely, you know, just still out there, still finding this stuff and just saving it, preserving it. And this stuff would often get like thrown out or broken over the years. So that's really cool to see all of these like hidden little things. Now I definitely met some cool people at this store, and I had a really good time just visiting and exploring the area. It's always neat seeing what different things that this store carries versus some of my favorite stores at home. So I absolutely love traveling for this particular reason. And of course, they had a booth, like this insane booth set up at the convention as well. So make sure you guys stay tuned because I did actually pick up some Nintendo Entertainment System games from them at the convention. So I'm really excited to share that journey as well, and make sure you guys follow along because I scored quite a bit and some really fun ones. You know, even almost a heavy hitter. So make sure you guys stay tuned. And of course, thank you guys for watching. Make sure you like and subscribe. Go ahead and check out all of my other videos and stay tuned for more.